I'm Dave Williams. I'm with the Association of Washington Cities, and the city of Shelton is one of our 281 member cities. Thank you very much for being one of our members. It's great to be here tonight to recognize your state senator. I believe, Senator, are you the longest serving legislator? Began in 1991, served in the House, has served in the Senate with honor and distinction. And our association, which is a private nonprofit organization that neither endorses candidates nor gives money to candidates. As a lobbyist, I don't go to fundraisers. Our job is to present information to legislators about what happens and what matters in cities and provide accurate, timely information. We work in a nonpartisan way, and a few years ago, I believe about 4 years ago, the leadership of our organization said, why aren't we thanking legislators publicly more often who do wonderful things for cities? There's no legislator in Olympia that agrees with the Association of Washington Cities all the time, but we pride ourselves on trying to recognize a handful of legislators every year who go out of their way to serve not only their community and their constituents, but the interest of cities across the state. And I'm pleased this year to recognize Senator Sheldon, along with Senator Ruben Carlisle from Seattle, a very liberal Democrat from the big city of Seattle. These two gentlemen spearheaded efforts to try to make sure that there were opportunities, enhanced opportunities in rural communities for broadband, and also to make sure that as broadband was expanded throughout the state, that it was also critical to make sure that public entities controlling their rights of way, controlling the costs of how things are done in their right of way, that those responsibilities and powers were recognized and protected. So it's a wonderful evening tonight to be able to thank Senator Sheldon. You're one of a handful of people that we've recognized this year. We look forward to not only the continued work on this issue with you, but your continued tenure in Olympia. And the wonderful thing about Senator Sheldon is, I'm sure you're all aware, he's very accessible. He'll tell you what he thinks, which is really nice because not all politicians do that. So we know where he stands, and he's always accessible to us and listens to our concerns. So before I make the presentation, I'd also like to invite up one of your local residents here, Dave Arbaugh, who represents a number of utility interests and some cities, and was involved in the discussions on this particular topic.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners. I'm Dave Arbaugh. I represent the city of Richland. I represent a couple of PUDs, Chelan PUD and Snohomish PUD, and we were right smack in the middle of this bill that was promoted last session by the wireless industry to try to expand coverage of 5G service, which we all look forward to having at some point. Senator Sheldon, as well as Senator Carlisle, were both instrumental in protecting local government interests as this bill was discussed and debated last year. There were two aspects of the bill. One would have preempted a lot of local government control over right-of-way access. That's, I think, the principal interest of the association here in honoring Senator Sheldon tonight. Another part of it would have put public agency utilities under a state-imposed formula for how they charge for attachments to their facilities. So it's another angle of local government protection that Senator Sheldon was quite helpful in protecting. And so I'm very pleased to see you get this award tonight, and I'm thrilled to be here to watch it. And I thank the association for recognizing the great work of legislators. Even though we all read about how long and tiresome extra sessions can be, these people work awfully hard for folks in communities like this, and it's good to see. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, would you like to say anything before we make the award?
Well, I would like to say a few things. Tim and I have known each other for, 25 years, I suppose, and I was a builder before I became a mayor, before I became a jeweler, and I would have relationships and through the building industry, and Senator Sheldon, we always would talk to him about things. He had a door that was always open, and some things he supported us on, some things he didn't. But that friendship grew into a friendship that carried on to my past 6 years as mayor of the city of Shelton. And some of these sessions, I'd been over there about once a week, and he'd say, call ahead and get your parking spot, reserved, because we were really fighting a battle for a lot of grant money, and Mr. Sheldon has been extremely instrumental in bringing a lot of grant money back to the city of Sheldon. And so it's just a pleasure to know him. He is probably one of my most favorite politicians because he's just a regular guy. And so all I know is he deserves any awards he can get. And if any of my other fellow commissioners have anything to add to that, I think we all have a great relationship with Senator Sheldon.
Great. Senator Sheldon, if you'd like to come forward, I'd like to read this little plaque. It's colorful, so you won't lose it. A 2017 City Champion Award for Senator Tim Sheldon in recognition of your leadership in expanding broadband to our state's rural communities and advocating for local control and responsible use of the public right-of-way when siting and regulating telecommunications facilities. Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
And we'll get a picture with the commission up here, too, in a moment. Would you like to say anything?
Sure. You never turn down an
No.
opportunity to speak as a politician. Commissioner Dorsey will learn that very quickly. And Commissioner McDowell and Mayor, and again, newly inducted Commissioner Dorsey, welcome. It's great to be here and to accept this award and have this recognition. Broadband deployment is a big deal in rural areas, and we have not had that deployment that the cities have gotten, and I hope that we can continue to work with the bill today, this session coming up next week. So the PUDs need to hang on to local control as well as the cities, and both Dave and Dave made comments about that, and I think it's essential for us. I don't think that it should matter what zip code you're in. You should have the same type of telecommunications service. And we're going to keep working on that, just like it is for education. You should have the same opportunity no matter what zip code you live in. So I just want to make a comment about another issue. I was born here in Shelton, and I've followed this change in governance for the city, and I think it's going to be very interesting. Back in 1992, and Judge Settle will remember Dale Foreman, was candidate for governor from Wenatchee, an attorney. Fine gentleman, and he sponsored the bill, and I co-sponsored the bill in 1992 to give Wenatchee, Raymond, and Shelton the opportunity to change to a council form of government. And that bill passed, and Wenatchee and Raymond have made that change, and now Shelton will be making the change as well. So I think it's always somewhat awkward to make a change, but I think it's going to be good for all the citizens here in the city, and we'll certainly get used to it. And I'm really happy that there's so many people that have signed up to take the challenge and to enter public service. Do we have any with us tonight?
About 15.
All right. Well,
That side over there.
I would like to say congratulations and thank you for stepping up. You're going to really enjoy it. To win or lose, you're going to be involved, and it's going to be a very interesting campaign. So I'm looking very much forward to that. I want to say that when you're elected, please come to Olympia. Representative McEwen and Representative Griffey and I all have an open door policy, and it's great to work with you. Maybe the one thing that people don't realize, I always mention, is that Mason County is only one of 6 of the 39 counties that only has one incorporated city, and that makes us very unique. And the 35th district, which you reside in, is the most rural district in the state of Washington. Now, you would think that would be in Okanagan someplace or over north of Spokane up in Ferry County, but there's a lot of cities over there in eastern Washington. And in Mason County, with only one incorporated city and only one incorporated, fully contained city within the 35th district. You are the only city, whole city, that's in the 35th district. We also have a little part of Bremerton, a little part of newly annexed Tumwater. So the city is very important to us, and what you say matters to us. So please come down to Olympia, go to the association meetings, get involved. You're fortunate that we're only a couple miles away. So I'm looking forward to the involvement with the city, and we can make big strides together. So thank you very much for this award. I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.